Hi, this is Dominic Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know, and you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
That's right. It is time for the NX 7062 podcast. Wow, I've never gotten tongue-tied on the name of my own show. The NX 7062 podcast. Welcome, one and all. Thank you for joining me on a chilly Monday evening here in beautiful New Jersey. DJ Kitty Cat, Robert, good evening. DJ Kitty Cat, my latest subscriber. Welcome. We go way back to all the Shuttle Pod shows and chat packs and all that fun stuff, DJ, and I am so glad that you are subscribed and you are here with us tonight. Thank you for that. I was all excited. I actually got my YouTube notification. I usually don't even see them, but yours popped up. Yay! Thank you, our subscriber 107. So welcome. So here we are. It is a chilly night here in Jersey. Got some fun stuff to talk about. Got some sad stuff to talk about. Got some Shuttle Pod show to talk about. We're going to just cover a whole bunch of stuff. First, I guess real quick, we'll do Prodigy, since that was on the top of my list. All caught up on my Prodigies. It's still such a great show, even though it really is for kids. And this one, I think, where everybody was telling their backstory, really was meant for kids, learning to respect and understand where everybody comes from, that everybody's got a backstory, everybody's got something that's going on in their life, and you should never compare yourself, and think your situation's any worse than anybody else's, because you don't know until you sit down and you have these conversations with your friends. You don't know what their stories are. So I thought that was a really great lesson. The pacing's a little better. They're not dragging out the whole diviner thing too much. So we're getting a little bit of that backstory, which I like. And I think it's good. I still am enjoying it. It is new Star Trek, and you take your new Star Trek in any and all forms, right? So I am enjoying Prodigy. Okay. So now I guess we'll do the bad news for those of you that have not heard, and it is out on the socials. Actually, Magic Lasso and I go way, way back. And the one thing that I think I really like, hey, Tiffany, thanks for dropping in. How are you? The one thing I love about Lasso, among the many things, is that he actually is kind of like he'll let me know when a celebrity's passed away. Hi, Lasso. Just talking about you. Lasso is my hello, Zod. He's my celebrity. Usually ends up being the first person to tell me when a celebrity's passed away. And actually, I appreciate it, because I would rather actually hear it from Lasso than hear it from some random tweet. So I actually, Zodcat Meow. Yes, Zodcat Meow. So Lasso was the one that informed me tonight that Kirstie Alley, the original Saavik from Star Trek II, passed away after a very brief bout with cancer, according to her children. And so Star Trek has lost yet another strong female lead, even if it was only for the one movie. I thought she did Saavik amazingly well. I love Robin Curtis. I know Robin Curtis, and I adore her. And I think she also did a great Saavik. But I wouldn't have minded seeing Kirstie take on the role and taking it to the next couple of movies. But from what I understand, she asked for too much money, unfortunately, and that's what opened the door for Robin. And you know what? Sometimes that's the best thing. Door closed for her and opened for Robin, and Robin did an amazing job. And Robin also became part of the Star Trek family because she went on to play a Romulan in TNG. So I was with you when Leonard Nimoy passed away. You were. That's right, you were. That was a Vegas thing. A Nashville thing. Nash Vegas. It was, yeah, I think you're right. You're right. We were together. God, that was so long. That was a different life. I actually have something to tell you later, Lasso, about that life. But so moving from sad to happy news, another Twitter, social media information thing, I guess you could say. Announcement. That's the word I was looking for. Another social media announcement. Anthony Rapp and his fiance, I don't think they're married yet, and I apologize, Ken, I don't know your last name. Anthony Rapp and his amazing fiance, Ken, have welcomed Rye Larson into their family. He was born on the 2nd of December. He's absolutely beautiful. Just pop over to Anthony Rapp's Twitter. After this is over, pop over to Anthony Rapp's Twitter, and you can see a beautiful family picture of Anthony, Ken, and beautiful baby Rye. So congratulations to them. All the love, all my hopes, as Uhura said in Star Trek 3, Search for Spock, all my hopes. So that is amazing news. And it is so the circle of life. So what else do we got going on? Shuttlepod show. I know that's why half of you are here, because we get to dissect the Shuttlepod show. I hope everybody had a good time yesterday that was hanging out with us in the live chats. They are a lot of fun. It is going to be a regular thing for the Shuttlepod show now. They're going to do YouTube live premieres, and they are actually looking to do, as they mentioned yesterday, they're looking to do some actual live shows. But that takes a lot to do, to produce and put it together and have it look as good as the taped shows. So that's something definitely to look forward to in the new year. Yeah, it was so much fun. It's always fun hanging out with you. And as War Dog has said, the Chat Pack 3.0, Seventh Rule got in first. Seventh Rules got to the Chat Pack. I have 2.0, and now the Shuttlepod gets Chat Pack 3.0. And it's because we are such a community, and we are such a close-knit community, and it's so great to virtually drink mimosas with you all on Sunday mornings. Andrew Robinson, my gosh, I think he can rival John Billingsley with that mouth and those F-bombs. The poor little Tribble that bleeps everything out. I think he just got too tired trying to chase down Andrew and all those F-bombs he was dropping. And I loved his stories. Now, it's hard to concentrate on the chat and the stories, so I'm glad I'm a patron so I can go back in and actually hear the couple of F-bombs that the Tribble actually got. The best part was the Tribble failure. Yeah, the best part was the Tribble failure. But don't forget, if you are a patron, then you can get the untribbled version, which I mean, what was that yesterday? Like maybe we missed like 2 or 3 F-bombs. I think. But hearing about Andrew and his life and his juvenile delinquency and the fact that he lived in New Hampshire, which is very close to my heart. I lived in Massachusetts. I have family in New England. New England's one of my favorite places on the planet. Connor and I have talked about it. As you may remember, Erica LaRose from the Shuttlepod show grew up in Connecticut. So I love it when I find that common New England ground with people. Connor actually lived in Massachusetts for a little while too. We talked about that once. So I love New England, and I love talking about New England. And now there's a New England thing with Andrew because he went to school up there. He got kicked out of school up there. But it was such. Tribble had a heart attack. I think it just passed out from exhaustion, is what I think. Honestly, poor thing. But to hear about all this juvenile delinquency that he had going on in his life and the roads that he could have gone down but didn't, and you have to wonder how much of that played into Garrick and all the other bad boys that he played. What is last? Let's drink mimosas and French kiss the pillows. Blanche Devereaux. That is great. Hello, Shuttlepod show. Just in time to hear us spilling the tea about yesterday's show and how much we loved it and how don't apologize. I think everybody loved the Tribble failures. I think somebody who said, yeah, DJ Kitty Cat said that it was the best part of the show. It was more fun with the Tribble failures. Although you're going to have to talk to your Tribble wrangler and see, you know, if he can do a little bit better. He can do a little bit better next time. Yes, Trouble. Yes, there was. Yes, very funny. Very good for somebody that doesn't watch Star Trek. Very good. There were trouble with Tribbles. For the uninitiated, Lasso totally gets it. He totally gets it. And I love the fact that he's the one person in here that doesn't watch Star Trek. It's perfect. Thank you, Lasso. For those of you that don't know, when somebody drops a curse word on the public version of the Shuttle Pod Show, instead of like a beeping noise, instead of it bleeping out, it's a tribble noise. It's a great little trill from a tribble, except for yesterday, because the tribble obviously thought it was his day off, or he just got so tired of trying to chase Andrew and his F-bombs around. So that was great, and the failure was much appreciated, and we loved it, Shuttle Pod Show. But I don't know if you're going to have that many tribble failures or that many necessary tribbles with Nicole. Is Nicole Sunday? Is Nikki DeBoer doing Sunday? Because, I mean, inquiring minds want to know. And you always seem to tell us everything here. So I'm going to be upset because I can't be there. I have something I have to do. But, so, I mean, if you wanted to rearrange the schedule for little old me so I could see Nikki on the 18th, that would be great. But, I'm not your programming guy. I'm not your programming person. You don't want them to get... They're taken down, though. They won't. Yeah, see, Nikki is this Sunday. Nicole DeBoer is this Sunday. Gosh darn it. I'm actually going to have to watch it by myself. No, they won't get demonetized. There's a setting in YouTube where you can say that it's got adult content. This one has it. Chat room with us, 10 a.m. Yeah, you're all going to miss me. Absolutely, you're all going to miss me. There's a setting in YouTube where you tell it that it's adult-only content or explicit content or whatever it is, and I'm sure Shuttle Pod Show, you guys have Connor and Dominic. I'm sure you guys click that button. I know I clicked that button. Explicit content? I don't know about harder to find. Not if you know what you're looking for, though. I mean, and Star Trek fans know what they're looking for. And I just feel like it's safer to put that up because I would rather put that up and be able to drop an F-bomb or have a guest drop an F-bomb than worry about some kid stumbling over it and not having it be that way. I don't know. Actually, Lasso is way more of a YouTube guru than I am. So Lasso, if you know anything about that, you can totally chime in. There you go. There you go. Don't sleep in. I bet you it's an amazing show because Nicole's awesome. She's been here a couple of times. Every time though I have tried to have her live on video, something has happened. So I've taped her answering questions, and she did the show when it was audio only, and it was oh my god, my audio only, the audio got screwed up. She sounded fine, and I sounded like a chipmunk for some reason. So yeah, Nicole and I have had exactly one successful taped interview where nothing has gone wrong, and we both sound perfect. And it was when I was in Las Vegas a couple years ago asking her questions. Outside of that, if I tried to have her live, things got screwed up. Yeah, that's funny. So I think she and I will have to try again for live video. Not to say that, you guys should all tune in Sunday, 10 a.m. East, 1 p.m. here on the East, 10 a.m. out on the West Coast. Grab a drink, grab a muffin, and go watch the Shuttle Pod Show. So what are we all here to talk about tonight? We are here to talk about music in Star Trek. Now, which is also why I'm wearing my Roddenberry's t-shirt, because the Roddenberrys are a Star Trek party band. And I love them, and they've been the house band for 2 years in a row at STLV. They are freaking awesome. They're also Philly-based, so they're right over the bridge for me. Not the East Dubuque Bridge, just one of the Philly bridges. But anyway, they are amazing. And the only thing about talking about soundtracks is I would love to play music for you guys, but I don't want Facebook or YouTube to pull the video. So I can't play any licensed music, but we can talk about how amazing Star Trek music is. And I can tell you that the Roddenberrys have this amazing instrumental mashup they call Amok. And it starts off with the fight song from Amok Time. It goes into the Klingon theme music from the original movie. And then it sneaks in the Imperial March from Star Wars, which is my favorite Star Wars music. It's been a long road. Yeah, and it's going to be a longer road because it's going to take me a while to get there because we got to start with from the very beginning because that's a really fun place to start. The first thing I wanted to talk about actually was how we were talking last week about novels and how, you have these really great series like the Star Trek Enterprise Romulan War series or Rise of the Federation. Those series, but so it's a series of books, but you always have them written by different authors. And the problem with that is that authors all have a different style of writing. And so you'll be in love with one novel and then you'll pick up the next one and you won't like it as much. And it's disappointing because obviously you want to read it because you want to keep the story going. Well, the same thing can be said with music composers. You've got 50 plus years of Star Trek shows, Star Trek movies. They all need music. What is TV? What are your movies and TV without music? Like I said in the one post, they very one-dimensional. But obviously, unless you've got John Williams like locked in a closet somewhere to do all of your music, you're going to need different composers. The difference between different composers and different authors is, an author just gets an outline of the story. So they've got the beginning, the middle, and the end. Like they have the outline of the story, but they get to write it any way they want. As long as they do the story that needs to get told, they tell it in their own style. When it comes to music, the outline, I don't want to say it's a little stricter, but it's definitely a more detailed outline. Like the music is there. That is your baseline, is the music and that feeling. And a good composer can make something their own and still deliver that same feeling that the original did. Now, Alexander Courage is the man that gave us the theme, the TOS theme. And, and he was around for a while. Look, there were so many people, I actually printed it out. Usually I do handwritten notes. There were so many people, I printed it out. Alexander Courage was all about the original series. But, as time moves on, when they moved into the movies, they ended up getting Jerry Goldsmith did the motion picture. He did Star Trek V. He did First Contact. He did Insurrection. He did Nemesis. James Horner, who is another huge movie composer, did Wrath of Khan and Search for Spock. You have Alexander Courage, who did a lot of the music for TOS. But my favorite TOS, that song, it was called The Ritual, Ancient Battle. That Amok Time, dun 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 dun. He did that, and it carried over that one piece that was written for the battle in Amok Time, which, by the way, I just caught on TV the other morning, and is my favorite one. That one song carried over as the fight music for the rest of the season, and I mean, it is iconic. They used it. Jim Carrey used it in Cable Guy during the medieval times fight. It is magical. Sleeping is very magical. I actually got up an hour early yesterday because I miscalculated. I could have stayed in bed an extra hour before getting up and getting ready for the show. But I mean, seriously, dun, 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 dun. I've even heard the music. The riff tracks guys, they were riffing on some movie, and two of the characters got in a fight, and one of the riff track guys starts going dun 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 dun. It's iconic. Music can be just as iconic as the show itself. The theme to Superman, dun 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 dun, dun. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Wars, and if you're not sensing a theme, you should be, because those are all John Williams movies. And what I love about, and again, just the Superman dun dun is so iconic that they used it in Justice League. When, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Justice League, when Superman finally makes an appearance as Superman and shows up for the final battle, and Lasso, don't hate me, I can't remember the name of the guy. and like the first, he's standing there and he's like, well, I believe in justice myself. If you listen, the music changes to dun 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 dun, and then they did it again. Pseudo spoiler alert for his cameo in Black Adam, where he only showed up in the post-scene credits, but he showed up and he's confronting Black Adam with a threat, and all you hear in the background is the John Williams music again. And it's the same thing for Star Trek. I mean, the music just carries over. And for those of you, and honestly, I didn't know this. I saw the motion picture when it was originally released. I remember seeing it in theaters and being bored to death going around the Enterprise. I mean, music will only take you so far if all they're doing is floating around for 20 minutes around the Enterprise in a shuttle. And it never occurred to me until I saw it again. I think it was re-released. I don't remember when I saw it again, or it might have been one of the other movies, was when I realized that that's where TNG got its theme from. That wasn't an original theme. TNG got its theme from the music that they used for the motion picture. Hey, David Gregory, thanks for joining us. Hello, 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 hello. So I thought, so it's just the Star Trek music is iconic. It carries over. All of the composers who have ever composed for any of them have really carried on. And like I said, I mean, there is a separate list. Thank you, Wikipedia. There's also a separate list for movies. This whole page is just full of TV composers, and then the next page has all the movie composers. What else did I want to say? Oh, okay. So, and this is musically related too, so I thought I'd throw this in there because it's so stinking cool. For those of us that grew up in the 80s or know the 80s or think retro 80s music is cool, there's a song called Heart and Soul that was released in 1987, and it was released by the group T'Pau. And yep, that is exactly where they got their name from. They named themselves after the Vulcan high priestess who presided over Spock's nuptials. I thought that was kind of cool too. And I actually loved that song before I knew that that's where they got their name from. I want to quick tag back onto Jerry Goldsmith because he's one of the bigger names. Like I said, he did the motion picture and Five, and one of the reviewers of Five basically said Shatner made two decent decisions with that movie. One, the actor that he cast as Sybok, and two, getting Goldsmith to do the music. Outside of that, yeah, that was not the best movie. But he crossed over to do next gen movies. He did First Contact, he did Insurrection, he did Nemesis. The music for First Contact was great. I really thought First Contact was great. And he also did music for TNG and Voyager. We all know what my favorite theme is, and I guess if I was pushed to pick one of my favorite instrumental themes, I think I'd have to go with the original. I mean, there's nothing gives me chills outside of hearing the original TOS theme, outside of watching the show. If I'm out and about and somewhere and I happen to hear it, so I'd have to tag that in as my favorite. What else did I want to say? Okay, I think we're going to save that for last. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, say what you will about the 2009 J.J. Abrams movies. Like them, don't like them, not here to debate it. Personally, I like them, mostly because of all the Enterprise references, especially in Star Trek Beyond. But those were all scored by Michael Giacchino. I don't know. I'm terrible with names. We all know. Hey, Mohammed! I love the end music of Discovery Season 4. Very sad but sweet. Aw, I like sad and sweet music. Kind of like the Incredible Hulk's closing theme. Sad and sweet. And just sad watching Bill Bixby walk down the road every time. Although the Family Guy did it, it was really funny. Anyway. But the guy that scored Star Trek, the reboots, love his music. It's so embodies Trek for me. Outside of the original music, it fits. It's new, but it has that same energy and it has that same feeling. I think one of my favorite uses of the theme is in Beyond, when the Franklin is shooting around under Yorktown and they have to come up and they have to stop Krull, and the Franklin just shoots up out of the water spraying everywhere, and then that theme music plays. I mean, that music just really fits. And I happen to Incredible Hulk music's awesome. Yeah. See, like I said, I can hum whenever I want. I just can't play licensed music. Star Trek V is the best Trek movie. The producer Mark's vote anyway. Well, considering the fact we're not voting on Star Trek movies, Mark, you're safe. Yeah, you know what? I am a sucker for piano music. I am a sucker for very basic music, very basic guitar music, and very basic piano music. In fact, my favorite, Pink Floyd, The Wall, my favorite song on The Wall isn't even really a song. I always just call it the guitar interlude. If you ever listen to The Wall, after they get done saying, "Is there anybody out there?" they say that a couple times, and then it breaks into this really quiet, soft guitar interlude. That is my favorite. And I mean, I love The Wall. I think The Wall is an amazing album, and I love Pink Floyd. That right there, that little gem that's hidden in the double CD set is just incredible. Let's see. Shava's theme was quite good too. Yep, Mohammed, that was Jerry Goldsmith. If you missed that, Mohammed. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. See my own little chat pack 2.0 just chatting amongst themselves, which makes it easier for me to just sit here and yap. But yeah, I fell in love with the Star Trek reboot movie. I used to work at a check cashing joint, and there were days when I was there and I had a Pandora subscription, and I loved Pandora. And I had the free subscription, so you told it, like, you gave it a radio station, like, I like soundtracks, I like sci-fi, and then it just threw a bunch of stuff at you. It's a great way to get to know music. And it used to throw the Star Trek 2009 stuff in the mix, and it was just so amazing just to sit and listen to it, and I really gained an appreciation from it away from the movie. The other really good choices in that movie, in those three movies, was Sabotage. Sabotage, which they used in the first one when young Kirk stole the car, and to confuse the swarm. Sabotage is a great freaking song. And I love when, it's a sci-fi movie, it's got its own music, and then it just throws in something, what would they thought it was classical. There you go. First Contact. Yes, I happen to really love First Contact. I thought that was really great. I like listening to that. Especially when the Vulcans land. The Vulcan landing music, I think, is fantastic. Speaking of First Contact, which we all know is the prequel to Star Trek Enterprise, Enterprise had a slew of amazing composers working for them. And it's fun because and it turns out that I'm missing 4. There's, like, unless La La, I'll have to go back and look. Unless La La Land combined the two releases, which is entirely possible. I'll have to go look. I have 8 CDs total of music from Enterprise, and in fact, Sabotage was better used in Beyond. Well, yeah, I think I mean, I liked it in both places, but I like the fact that they went back to it, that they used it in 2009 and then they went back to it in Beyond. Archer's theme is amazing. Archer's theme, a lot of people think Archer's theme should be the theme. No. It's a great ending theme. The fact that they used it in the season opening of Discovery when they dedicated the Archer space dock gave me chills. I thought that was fan-damn-tastic. the song that you hear for the countdown, my little countdown clock, if you're here early and you have my little 30-second countdown clock, that's actually Bound. That's a season 4. I think it's episode 17. It's the one with the Orions. It's the slave girl dance that they do for Archer and Reed. Love that. That has to be one of my favorite Star Trek Enterprise songs. My other favorite songs, I have 3. Bound, outside of the theme. I have Bound. I have the alternate theme for the 2 parts of Inner Mirror Darkly. I thought the fact that they redid the theme was fantastic, and I thought that the theme music was fantastic, and that is on one of my discs. And believe it or not, the only decent thing to come out of the Star Trek Enterprise series finale was this song called Heroic that they played, I'm going to assume at the end, because honestly, I haven't watched These Are the Voyages in a very long time. Yeah, Mirror Darkly theme's awesome. I love the Mirror Darkly theme. But it's called Heroic, and it plays Archer's theme, but it goes into traditional Star Trek music as well. I think the TNG music's in there a little bit, and I think some TOS music's in there. I should have listened to it before the show. I wish I could play it for you. Like I said, it's licensed. So I took a shot with Bound because it's so obscure. But I don't want to hedge my bets. The finale is definitely Terror Prime, but there is that These Are the Voyages thing. It's this episode that doesn't count. Listen, I have a friend that hates Dr. Pulaski so much that she refuses to acknowledge the entire second season of TNG. So I don't have a problem barely acknowledging one episode of Enterprise, especially if they, kill off Trip. Shuttlepod Show's being quiet. So Shuttlepod Show, if they have anything else, Trip's not dead. DJ Kitty Cat, I want to hear about it when you get your shirt. Absolutely want to hear about it when you get your shirt. Can't wait. We can be twinsies. And I believe I heard a rumor that there's going to be more merchandise and more fun quote shirts coming out. But I would also be remiss if I did not mention my friend Melissa Longo, who many of you know, who is an artist as well, who has an amazing Read Alert shirt that I told her I need to get, and I will be sharing links for that as soon as I get them, because I don't think her website's up right now. So I need to figure out how to get my shirt, and once I figure out how to get my Read Alert shirt, I will share that all with you. If it doesn't, I happen to know for a fact that Shuttlepod Show will make it right. I don't even wear a woman's medium. Shuttlepod Show, are you paying attention? There we go. Shuttlepod Show, more shirts, more merch, more contests, more fans on the show, live events, and awesome Trek episodes and movie reviews. Yes, all of this is coming to the Shuttlepod Show, which always just gives me more content to talk about on Mondays. So Shuttlepod Show, keep it coming. We knew this. They're going to make it right. You heard it here once again, right here on the show, for the record. Shuttlepod Show, they're pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome people to hang out with. I can't wait to get out to LA. Plus, it's getting cold here, so I really can't wait to get out to LA. Okay, so the one thing that y'all knew was coming, we got to talk. Size guide sounds smart. It does. I'm not going to argue with that. That's a really good idea. So I guess we could say we're saving the best for last. Although a couple of you have already said what your favorite music is. So if somebody else wants to throw up some of their favorite Star Trek music, I would love to hear. But we got to talk about Diane Warren. She is, okay. Questions for Michael Dorn should get to us by next Wednesday, December 14th. Okay, you heard that here first too. Questions for the one and only Mr. Worf. By the way, for all of you that don't know, and see, this right here is why I put up that I have explicit content. How many of you know that Klingons have 2 penises? That's right, they do. So if somebody wants to ask Michael Dorn about that, that should be an interesting question. All right, DJ Kitty Cat wants to know, how do you put in questions to the Shuttlepod Show? The best way to get questions, sorry Zod, I got to displace you. The best way to get questions to the Shuttlepod Show is shuttlepodshow@gmail.com. So yes, it was made canon. That is correct. It was made canon in Disco. There were rumors, and then there was a scene of a Klingon against a wall with 2 streams. So if you hit the Shuttlepod Show up at shuttlepodshow@gmail.com, or you can go to their website, shuttlepodshow.com, and throw in questions there. Yeah, and my check better be in the mail, Shuttlepod Show, by the way, just saying. Or my t-shirt, my new t-shirt better be in the mail. Oh, you're all seeing my pajama bottoms. One of the things about working at home, I get to wear lounge pants. See, I got a new monitor. Let's see, that's the word for monitor. I got a new monitor, so the camera's in a slightly different position. Yeah, don't cross the streams. Oh, DJ Kitty Cat, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. That wins for question of the night, or for comment of the night. Absolutely. Gold stars for DJ Kitty Cat. That's great. So let's get back to Diane Warren. She is an incredible award-winning songwriter. I think Lasso might know her better as a writer of If I Could Turn Back Time for Cher, which I absolutely adore. She wrote If I Could Turn Back Time for Cher. Then she wrote this little song called Faith of the Heart for Rod Stewart to sing at the end of Patch Adams. And then somebody very smart at Paramount, in my personal opinion, decided that it would be a good song to open Enterprise with. Why? Because it freaking sums up waiting 90 years between first contact and launching their first Warp 5 ship. I mean, you cannot argue with that. You really can't. And they went, or at least I don't think you can. And they gave it to Russell Watson, thank God, because I can't stand Rod Stewart. They gave it to Russell Watson. They renamed it Where My Heart Will Take Me to differentiate it. They renamed it Where My Heart Will Take Me, parentheses, the theme to Enterprise. And it premiered on Broken Bow, and half the Star Trek audience went to shit over the fact that, God forbid, the theme had words. Her office was next to mine for 2 years. We spoke recently at the Colorado Film Festival, where she was a Lifetime Achievement Award winner, which is well-deserved, and that's freaking amazing. She is pretty amazing. She was actually up against, I remember, I don't usually watch the Oscars, but when A Star is Born was up for everything, I watched it because I love Lady Gaga, and I wanted to see her do Shallow. And one of Diane Warren's songs that year was up against Gaga. And I figured that Shallow was going to win, but I thought if Lady Gaga doesn't win, then I wanted to see Diane win. But of course, Lady Gaga did win. Shuttlepod Show, completely jealous that you got to hang out with Diane Warren, because yeah, she is absolutely freaking amazing. Where My Heart Will Take Me is an incredible song. It is Star Trek. Why is it Star Trek? Because somebody at Paramount decided to make it the theme to Enterprise. So as I said here before, like it or don't like it, meh, that's fine. Pedal, I've been made fun of for loving that song. I have been pleasantly surprised to find other people who like that song. I have sung that song at karaoke numerous times, on the cruise and at STLV. And actually a couple times to practice, I have sung it at karaoke shows in my hometown. And in fact, the one time I sang it, believe it or not, somebody said, "Isn't that the theme to Enterprise?" I couldn't believe it. Just some random person at the bar. I got done singing and goes, "Wait a minute, isn't that the theme to Enterprise?" I thought that was pretty cool. It's only ever happened once. But love it, hate it, that's fine. But somebody decided to make it the theme to Enterprise, so the one thing you cannot say about it is that it is not Star Trek. It's that simple. But like I said, I think between that and the photo slideshow that they do at the beginning of the show with the song, I mean, it just fits. It just fits. In fact, when I sang it on the cruise in 2019 at Connor's hosted karaoke, he was goofing around and he sort of kind of sang it with me. But when I got towards the end where you watch the credits, his name pops up just as the Phoenix kind of opens up to hit the warp, and Connor went like this. So he was being adorable as usual. But I've sung it with Dominic a couple times. It's a great song, and Dominic has been known on the Shuttle Pod show to defend it. He just doesn't like it when they added the tambourines in the last 2 seasons. So your favorite Star Trek music is, you know what? Gary Graham would be very appreciative of that. For those of you that have ever wondered, haven't been paying attention to the credits of the Shuttle Pod show, the music for the Shuttle Pod show is by Gary Graham and his Sons of Kirk. So, yeah, and it's fun. Gary's fun. And of course you would say that, go toot your own horn. Sons of Kirk has a Facebook page. A couple years ago, Gary said they were going to come out with another CD, but then with COVID and everything else that's going on, I have no idea where the plans went for that CD. We're going to go for the Guinness Book of World Records of most people live singing along with the Enterprise theme. I love that. The remix, yes. Gary Graham and the Sons of Kirk are. Hello, Nancy. Thank you for joining us. And yes, they are. Absolutely. Love Gary. Love Sons of Kirk. They are fantastic. Like I said, he's got a Facebook page. I have no idea where that new album is. Shuttle Pod Show might know better than I do on that one. The Shuttle Pod Show says hi to Nancy. So let's see. The remix sort of grew on me. I don't like it as much as the original by any means, but I'm tolerating it better. Yes, he's an incredibly talented musician. Yeah, that's great. And I love parodies. I love that he does parodies. More Star Trek. The Rat Pack is another great, fun Star Trek band. The Roddenberries. I mean, there's so much talent, musical talent within the Star Trek universe. Tim Russ has a band. They've played at STLV. Chase Masterson is a fantastic singer. If you ever go to her booth, buy one of her music CDs. I have Rendezvous and Jazz Cocktail. And I got Rendezvous because she did this incredible version of Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie. She does an amazing version of Rainbow Connection. But then, and I found this out at Gallifrey. That was the other thing you guys did. I don't know. When Dominic was talking about having met Andrew Robinson for the first time at a Doctor Who convention, that was Gallifrey 1. I was there working with Lambda Quadrant. And I had no idea that was the first time that they met. They had the two of them sitting next to each other out in the hallway, right by the bathrooms, which I thought was kind of, but yeah, I didn't know that that's where Dominic and Andrew met. I actually chatted with Andrew a little bit. He's so lovely. He's lovely, and I talked to him for a second in Vegas. He's great, and he was such a fabulous interview. And like I said, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because I pay attention to the chat so much. I miss a lot of the interviews. That sounds hysterical. That sounds absolutely hysterical. All right, so Tim, let's see, we did Tim, we did Chase. Oh, but the other reason that I bought Rendezvous from Chase is because she also does a song called East of the Sun and West of the Moon, which the only other time and the only other person I have ever heard sing that song was Christopher Reeve on an episode of The Muppet Show. So the minute that I saw that on her CD, I went, is that the song that goes east of the sun? And she said, yeah, why? I said, I need this CD. I said, you and Christopher Reeve are the only two people that I know that have sung it, and I need to hear you do it. And Bonnie Gordon, who is the voice of the Protostar in Star Trek Prodigy, is also an incredible singer, musician, songwriter. She writes great parodies. I had a chance to catch her for a minute in Vegas this year. Hopefully she'll be performing again in Vegas next year. She's performing all year round. Just look her up on Facebook. She's a wonderful person and, oh, excuse me, super, super, super duper talented. So there's a lot of amazing musical talent in Star Trek with all these actors. It's great. And I've always thought of actors that could sing and dance and act as triple threats. And you don't see that a lot anymore. You know, back in the day when I was growing up, and, you know, the Dean Martin and the Frank Sinatras, you know, all the Rat Pack movies and all that, where they could sing and dance and do Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, all of that, you don't see that anymore. And then along came Moulin Rouge, and you found out that Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor were a triple threat. That's right, Nichelle Nichols was an amazing singer as well. Thank you for that, Nancy. I almost did forget. That was another good thing that came out of Star Trek V was she sang. There you go. 3 things from Star Trek V. And I'm like, wait, there are still actors out there that can like sing and dance and do really cool things. I think Ewan McGregor happens to be a great singer. I think he's fantastic. Chicago, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Queen Latifah, who went from singing to acting. So there are definitely people out there that are those triple threats. You just don't see it as much anymore as you used to back in the day when I used to watch it. But like I said, it's just, I could not believe how many incredibly talented people there were that brought us all the music that we all love from Star Trek and gives you those feels, all those emotions. I mean, like that's what I love about music is, you know, like in a horror movie, and you know that the music that builds to a crescendo right before somebody jumps out, or you know the romantic stuff, or the action, you know, like the dun 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 dun. You know, it's just where would our films be without their music? They wouldn't. They really wouldn't. They would lose so much. Rio, that's where we're going to be in August. So exciting. So if anybody else wants to chime in out there with any favorite Star Trek music, like I said, my favorite is the theme to Enterprise. I think that would be so much fun if you could. I mean, honestly, Guinness Book of World Records for people getting together to sing the theme. I think, honestly, if you got 5 people to do it, that would be enough. But it would be great if you could get, if you could do something maybe at STLV. STLV karaoke this year sucked. It was only an hour and I didn't get to sing. And that's never happened before. I mean, it was bound to happen sometime, and I guess if the show's only an hour, but I was pretty pissed off. Nah, not pissed off. That's the wrong word. Annoyed. Annoyed's a better word. I was annoyed. I always look forward to singing my song every year, and I didn't get to do it last year because COVID. We played bingo instead, which was still fun, but anyway, so I don't know. Next week, I don't, you know how long it took me to pick a topic for this week? Because I put it out in the Twitterverse and nobody had any ideas for me. I might be a little lonely. I might have to see if I can drum up a guest for next week. I can't believe it's December already. Yeah, I know. We can't see Nancy or we want to say hello. She's the best. That's why I'm sharing. So Nancy, if Nancy's watching, she should be able to see it when I pull up, when I make your comments part of the pictures. Yeah, I just want to remind everybody out there that, okay, so you can see it. Great. I just want to remind everybody out there that I am simulcasting between YouTube and Facebook. So all the YouTube people get to see what they're saying to each other, but the Facebook people don't get to see what the YouTube people see, vice versa, which is why I always, that's great, Nancy, thank you. That's why I always try to share the good comments up on the screen so that everybody can see them and share in the giggles like Foo's a Furry, which is a running joke and helps me get on another, helps me get mentioned on another podcast. So Comic Fu has actually been a guest. He has been on here to talk about Star Trek and comic books, because that is one area I am incredibly weak in. And I had him on here a little while ago, right before I took my break. Hey, Jean! Always good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you're doing well up in the Great White North. So, I mean, the holidays have rolled around again. So let me take a look here. I've only got 2 more shows until Christmas, because Christmas is on a Sunday this year. So I am definitely going to have to put together a Christmas show, a holiday show, I should say. Maybe Lasso and I will do another show. Maybe we'll do it live, Lasso, you and me, talking about collecting and how to do really good geeky gift giving, and how you need to go to the Shuttle Pod Show's website to buy some of their merch, for the holidays, to support everything that the Shuttle Pod Show does. Or support, and you can also support me too. I actually do have a store. I have some pretty cool stuff in my store. It's on Teespring, and I have sweatpants and t-shirts and sweatshirts and mugs and gaiters and just about anything that you could possibly imagine. So if you want to be warm and toasty for the winter months, head over and get yourself an official NX7062 sweatshirt or sweatpants or both. You can also support the show by heading over to Patreon. My NX7062 Patreon. All of my tiers are actually named after Enterprise episodes. So you should just go over there just for a giggle and go see how I named all of my tiers, because that would be fun. Let's see. Your shirt should say official Shuttle Pod Show after show. I should make one of those. I absolutely should make one of those. You're right. That would be cool. Maybe do it in your font with my logo. I love my logo. I designed my own logo. I mean, I did copy it from somebody. I got the idea from somewhere, but I did an X7062. Let's see. That one is related to the family that created Mallow Cups. True or false? False. You just made that up, Lasso. I love you, but you're lying. Yeah, see, Nancy agrees. I think that would be great. I should get a shirt that says the official Shuttle Pod Show after show. I love it. Thanks for that idea. All right. So if nobody else has anything musical to add, because that was okay. Let's see. We'd like to come back to your show before the holidays with some fun updates for the new year. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. I love. Thanks, John. How much subtler could the Shuttle Pod Show be? I don't know. I might Shatner and Nimoy's albums. That was the other thing that Pandora reminded me of, is the Leonard Nimoy songs about. I can hear them in my head. I can't think of the theme. I can't think of the titles, but those were fun. Those were a lot of fun, and I think Shatner took himself too seriously, and Leonard didn't, which is what's great. The Suite from Inner Light wins best music of all time for me. Oh, yes, Bilbo Baggins. There was Bilbo Baggins, but there's another one about visiting from another planet. Like an alien coming. Oh my God, I'll have to go look that up when it's over. But yeah, Bilbo Baggins is funny, but there's another one that I really like that he did. All right, so maybe next week, the Shuttle Pod Show people will be here. We'll see. I'll have to talk to the Shuttle Pod Show people. Yes, highly illogical. Thank you, DJ Kitty Cat. That's the one. But all right, so maybe next week the Shuttle Pod Show will be here. So you guys have all week to think of questions for the Shuttle Pod Show people. Like, did Mark buy the ring? How's Wash doing in his new planter? Yeah, those are like the two really big questions I think we're going to have to ask them next week. How Wash is doing in the new planter, and did Mark buy the ring yet? Oh, and what pies has he made lately? I think those are going to be at least my top 3 questions for the Shuttle Pod Show crew the next time they're on, which could conceivably be next week, because I love Shuttle Pod Show and Mark and his shameless promoting, which I completely 120% respect. So yeah, they just might be here next. Guys, I sent you a picture of a pie last night and you didn't respond. I was a little insulted. I had leftover mincemeat pie last night. My mom makes an amazing mincemeat pie, and I love it. And I try not to eat. I try to like stretch it out after Thanksgiving. Anyway, guys, so I will have a guest next week. Hopefully, maybe, who knows? It was really beautiful. Yeah, so we're going to talk about pies. In fact, think of some really good pie recipes. And maybe you'll find out why next week. But if you've got a really good pie recipe, you may want to be digging it out. Just saying. That's my hint for next week. All right, guys, as always, thank you for joining me. If you want to share some of your favorite Star Trek music, maybe links to some of your favorite Star Trek music, you can hit me up. I am NX7062 on Twitter, on Facebook, and on the Instas. So hit me up there. Let me know what your favorite music is. And you know what? I and maybe a guest or two will be seeing you here next week. Until then, everybody, please remember to live long and prosper.
Hey, this is Connor Turner. You've been listening to the NX7062 podcast with Stephanie. Enjoy your evening.